Wally Green is in the house, and I'm so excited to talk to. I guess Wally is the first ping pong champion I have ever spoken with, and we have a lot in common. Not only do I love ping pong and pickleball, but I lived in South Korea for years. So you,
Nice.
Wally, is changing the landscape for youth, especially that is in crisis. He is changing the landscape for anybody that thinks that they can't get crap done, that they can't do what they're meant to do. Because Wally has had every excuse to just be, what did you say, like be in jail, be in a gang, be dead. And you are proving everybody wrong. So, Wally Green, I'm so excited to have you here. Yay.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Happiest day of our lives here.
Yes.
And I was showing my sons, I'm like, have you ever heard of Wally Green? So I have four boys, Wally, and I was showing them pictures, and I'm like, he's like the Dennis Rodman of ping pong, like the colorful hair and stuff. Have you ever heard that before, or did I just?
Yeah, a lot.
You
That's
do.
actually, yeah, I mean, Dennis Rodman went to North Korea.
Hmm.
I also went to North Korea. And
I
yeah,
know. You hugged a
so
North Korean.
yeah, I
Like,
usually say I'm the Dennis Rodman of of ping pong.
you do? I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
heard
yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually in a daily news article where I say, yeah, I'm the Dennis Rodman of ping pong.
Have you met Dennis Rodman, by the way?
Oh no, but I'm doing a doc now, so someone's arranging that because
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
want to interview him.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
as part of the documentary.
Those people that have crossed the line and ventured into North Korea. But that's so exciting. First of all, the things that you've done. You've been an ambassador for the United States and for youth. But who is Wally Green? Really? I mean, and I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs. I have a new puppy. He's snoring right next to me.
Oh,
So
good. Oh man, Wally Green is this, I guess, normal. I'm normal. I guess I'm pretty normal, but I grew up in the projects and had a really horrible life. Was able to change my life,
like, what do you
and
mean horrible? Like,
oh
everybody
man,
says I've had a horrible
yeah,
life. Like,
yeah.
oh, I broke a nail.
Yeah, so I grew up with a very abusive, narcissistic stepfather
Mm.
who used to physically beat up my mom
Oh,
and
jeez.
just used to hit me. And also, but more importantly, the mental abuse was the worst of it. Like
Wow.
my stepfather was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. And
Mm.
but he was a master carpenter.
Mm.
So he could build anything out of anything, like to the highest level. And he used a lot of mental abuse to make himself, to validate himself. So he would always tell me, you're going to be dead, you'll be in jail, you'll never be successful, you never amount to anything. Anything I ever wanted to do, he would say, no, you can't do that. No, you're not good enough. And he would always put you down. And then along with the physical abuse, it was a way to keep himself as the king of the castle, as he used to say, he's the king of the castle. And that was the way he kept himself as the king of the castle. So that's the way
Mm.
I grew up, early age, I was already in gangs. By 13, already owned 6 guns. And
Mhm.
yeah, I was living a really horrible life.
Well, my first question is, what about your mom? Like, why did your mom stay or bring this dude into your life? If sh
So
and I'm not blaming her at all. I just am curious.
yeah, yeah. So my mom and my dad, I don't know when they divorced because I don't have a memory of my mom and dad together. So
Mhm.
probably when I was one, I guess. And then my mom remarried this guy. And it was crazy because I mean, he was obviously abusive. And the funny thing, and the thing that made it even weird, which I really never really talk about much, my mom was like very, very, what's the word? She was very
Hi, Aiden. Oh my God, she's so
you want
cute.
to say hi?
Hi, the
Uh,
cutest little baby in the world. I know
uh,
you're three. Who's three?
All
Wait, I have to show you. I
right,
got a
let's
baby here
go.
too. Hang on, Aiden. Hang on. Oh God. I got a baby here too.
Oh, look. Oh, wow, look.
You like puppies?
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
You want one?
Want one?
Yeah.
Okay, he's got three siblings in the litter. I can hook your dad up. So I have a new French bulldog, and he's like
So cute.
super duper snoring and super duper cute. So I just, while he's showing off his baby, I'm showing off my baby.
Nice. Yeah, so what part was I up to?
Just the guns and
Oh, yeah.
just
So
like you're headed down a tunnel of just flight or fight, survival, just probably a lot of anger as well, I imagine.
yeah, I mean, as a kid, I thought every day, how could I kill my stepfather?
Oh
This is
wow.
what I thought every single. I remember even as early as 6, 7. I remember my stepfather used to take some medication. I don't even know what for, but he had these capsules, and we were living in projects at the time, and um, a way to kill roaches is you use boric acid. You put it on the corner of the walls, right? So on the floor, on the corners, and boric acid is an acid that kind of like melts their legs and then kills them. I was
Wow.
thinking of how I can put boric acid into his capsules so that he would take the capsule. Yeah, it was crazy,
You
and
were angry.
yeah, I was extremely angry.
Did you have siblings growing up, or was it just you?
I had a stepbrother who
Mhm.
was treated like he was the best.
Mm.
So my stepbrother never got in trouble for anything, and I got in trouble for everything. To the point where if I did something, I would force my stepbrother to say that he did it.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's the kind of relationship I have with my stepbrother. It was more of like if I did something, he had to say he did it.
Wow. Wow. I mean, and okay, so I can't imagine. Let's just be honest. I can't imagine. I grew up in the suburbs with two parents. They were married, two brothers, and for all intents and purposes, it was growing up, in the air quotes, I'm doing air quotes, a functional family. And hearing this and knowing just the pain that you went through, and you had no control. Your mom married a dude who was abusive and a jerk. And then you're getting abused, you're watching the abuse. There seemed like no way out.
Right.
What was that trigger that you chose to do something positive with your life as opposed to going down the path of just
Right.
kicking everyone's ass and killing your stepdad?
Well, I actually remembered what I was saying before, and I just forgot it again. Oh
Oh my
shit!
God, this is
It
a
goes,
compelling interview.
it goes.
I'm asking these compelling questions that your
Yeah,
mind
it
is
goes.
racing.
Oh, I got it. I remember. So yeah, so my mom, it was weird because my mom wasn't the kind of person that would that you could push around. You know what I'm saying? Like when stuff was happening, it wasn't like she was just like go cry in the corner type thing. Um, she would mouth off back, but I
Mm,
think my mom was more bark than bite,
mm.
right? So she would. So
Did
what
she
would happen?
protect you at all or no? I'm just curious. The
No,
dynamic.
yeah, I'm just gonna get to that.
Okay, okay.
So what would happen was they would fight. He would beat her up because he's a guy stronger than her. I would go and console her because your mom's bloodied and crying,
Oh my
right?
God.
So I would go to hug her. Then they later on would make up, and then I'd be punished,
Hmm.
right? So I was punished for consoling my mom, right? And that was the cycle all the time. Every time I went to hug my mom, they'd go upstairs, they'd make up, and then all of a sudden I was punished for no reason. Yeah, so it was pretty. It was, but I never had I never had the hatred for my mom, right? At that point, I mean, the hatred came later on, in a different situation. But through all of that, because my mom, technically, she wasn't protecting me, right? Because why would I be punished because of trying to console her, you know? But even then, I still I never hated her, right? I never thought bad and had bad intentions for her.
Hmm.
And but it did eventually come. It did eventually come. There was a situation to where it got real ugly real fast.
Wow. And h- how do you reconcile that? I mean, you're obviously a parent. We just saw your beautiful child. Reconciling this, it has to be healing to have a child of your own and not doing it the same way as your parents. I do believe every parent does the best with the tools they have at the time. Not saying that was right of your mother or your stepfather, absolutely not. But how do you reconcile that as you are raising a small child?
Well, for me, I, I you know, I had a lot of hatred
Mhm.
for both of them.
Mm.
There was a time, there was a situation where I was gonna kill my stepfather. Like my
Like
stepfather was,
really kill them.
yeah, so I had gotten in trouble in school, and I had to go to a boarding school instead of jail, out of the country for 2 years. I came back.
Whoa, wait, that's so cool. I mean, this was
Yeah.
court ordered or who
This
paid
is
for
part
this?
of, well, this was either jail or the boarding school. And my mom somehow, I don't know how she did it, but they agreed because I had good grades in school.
Oh, you did.
So one side of me was the gang life, the other side was sports. And the only way you can stay on a team in school is if you have good grades or you
Mhm.
fail off. And I needed sports. I needed that aggression. I need to let out that the different kind of physical activity
Mhm.
so that it would numb me when I get back home. And I had kids doing my work in school, so
Wally,
yeah.
my kids aren't listening.
I was well covered. But yeah, so that was the other half, and because I had good grades, my mom was able to get them to agree to this crazy thing of me going out of the country to a boarding school, to all
Oh,
boys boarding school.
that's
And
exactly what you needed though to get out of the environment.
yeah, but then I came back,
Oh,
and
geez.
I came back a different kid. I came back much stronger because I spent a lot of time fighting over there. So I came back much stronger and ready to protect my mom. And one day my mom was getting choked by my stepfather. And I just turned around and just kind of looked at it. I just looked, and my stepfather looked at me and says, "What are you looking at? If you look over here, you're going to get the same thing." And this had been after 2 years of not seeing me, because I was away in the school for 2 years. So they haven't seen me for 2 years. And I just
So you
lost
just came home and this is what you are welcome
back
home
there, come
to.
right back to this. And
Wow.
I totally lost it.
They couldn't
Ran
get their act together for one night.
No. Ran out of the house. Ran to my friend's house where we keep our guns. Came back with a gun and put it to my stepfather's head. And I was
Wow.
gonna kill my stepfather that day. I was really, really gonna kill my stepfather that day. And my mom started like just going crazy, and she called the police. And she said her exact words, because I'll never forget. I'll be 90 and I'll remember these words as clear as day. Like I hear them. There's certain things I hear in my head all the time. This is one of the things that I constantly hear in my head. My mom called police. She said, "Hurry, hurry! You guys have to hurry. My son's trying to kill my husband."
Hmm.
Not my husband's beating the shit out of me, and my son's protecting me. It was literally my son's trying to kill my husband. And
Wow.
then I pointed the gun to my mom. I was gonna kill my mom and my stepfather that
Wow.
day. And it's crazy. Like, you hear about these stories all the time. This is nothing new. It's nothing, like, it's shocking, but it's not really shocking because we hear it all the time. Kids go and kill their parents, or they kill their mom, or they kill their dad, or they kill their brothers or uncles, or this crazy stuff, and it's a lot of times Yeah, it's bad, but a lot of times people need to know the full story. Because I was that kid, and luckily for me, that I had some humanity left. A lot of if I was one of those kids, I know, and I grew up with kids who had no humanity, where they would kill you today and have pizza tomorrow with your sister, and no problem, right? But those ones have lost their humanity. I never lost my humanity. So I always analyze situations to a point. I jumped off really quickly and I started off really quickly, but in the end, I analyzed. And I don't know if it's divine intervention or whatever you want to call it, but something came and said to me, "Hey, if you do this today, everything your stepfather said about you, being dead, being jailed, being not successful, being a waste of life, everything that he said is going to happen right here today. Today is going to happen." And now all of this is happening really fast. I'm saying slow, but it's really fast. And I just came to my senses. I say, you know what, you guys deserve each other. And I left, and I had to leave fast because the police were coming. So,
Yeah,
so I had that in the back of my mind.
yeah.
There's so many emotions going on. Like, I was crying, I was shaking, I was going through all this stuff, but at the same time, the police are coming, right? So I just decided that that wasn't something that I was going to do, because that would just solidify everything that my stepfather said about me at that moment. And I left the house and I never went back.
Wow. And then built up your own family. And what's so fantastic about your story is that you're not just a statistic, you are a success story, not only in terms of your craft and sport, but speaking on TEDx stages. You're doing things, dang it. I betcha when you got on the TEDx stage, you were thinking to yourself, he never thought I could do it. Look at me
Yep.
now. Look at me now.
You know what? I'll tell you something very interesting. And for some people, it's like, what? The drive that drives me to do as much as I can to the best of my ability, always, to never, like, for me, it's all about that W. I need to win at every single thing I do. It doesn't matter what it is. I need to win, and I don't stop. I just keep pushing. And the reason why is something that I mentioned to you before. There's certain words that I hear in my head all the time. One, the thing that my mom said, and the second thing is, you're useless, you're worthless, you're never going to amount to nothing, you're going to be
Mhm.
dead, you're going to be in jail, you're never going to be successful. These things, I hear this in my head. My stepfather saying this all the time, because I heard this every day. I heard it for 16
God,
years.
this sucks, man. I don't even know how you are here today. Like
Well,
you're
well,
like
that's it.
amazing.
That's the answer, because I was able to figure out that I didn't need to hate. I need to take that hate and turn it into that energy, to that positive energy. So, in a way, I convinced my mind to say, hey, you know what? Thank you. I thank him. I thank him, because he showed me what not and who not to be. Right. So I've come to terms with, yeah, you know what? Thank you, bro. You showed me exactly the person I never want to be in my life. And everything you've ever said, you're going to be in your grave looking at me, be successful. And those words that I hear all the time are the words that I'm going to use for everything I do. Really, everything I do. If it's something I can't do, I listen to those words. Even like my TEDx, like when I did the TEDx talk, I didn't know how to do no TEDx talk.
Sure you
And
did.
no, I really didn't. Listen. One thing you don't know, I hated public speaking. I
Mhm.
never did public speaking. I did a lot of interviews, question, answer, no problem. I can do that. But public speaking, I never liked it. I actually hated it. And that TEDx talk was the third one that I got asked. I got asked two before, and I said no, because I just don't like getting up
Wait,
and
you got
speak.
asked for 3
Yeah,
TEDx?
three. Yeah,
I mean,
this is
that's
the third one.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. And then and the only reason I agreed to this one was because they said that I would be focusing on the younger generation. And I said, hell yeah, anything for the kids, I do it. And I didn't know how to do it. But what drove me to do it is just remembering those words. Oh, you're not going to amount to nothing. You're going to fail at everything you do. And then I just revisit those words when there's something that's pretty difficult for me to do. And then I just find a way to just, do it, and not only do it well. And every time I do it well, it's just me like smiling back. What was that you said? And that's how I operate. That's crazy, but yeah, it works for me.
Wow. The story is so incredible. Obviously, it's incredible because you've spoken about this so many times. And I'm just trying to think, when you had the cold steel pressed against your stepfather's temple, what was that thing? It would have been so easy to have changed the trajectory of your life. What was that thing that stopped you? Because it is intrinsic. The fact that you got good grades, the fact that you went to boarding school, the fact that you decided you're going to take ping pong to the next level, the fact
Yeah.
that you did TEDx talks. I mean, there is something intrinsic within you. What
Well,
was it?
what I think it was? I think it was something that I mentioned before about still having your humanity.
Yeah.
It's,
Well,
even
there
when
must have been something cycling in your head like, Wally, this you can't do this, or Wally, you can do
oh
this.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. In my mind, it kept saying that if you do this, everything your stepfather said is going to happen. Everything you're going to prove your stepfather right, even though he'll be dead. It doesn't matter. You'll be in jail for life.
Mhm.
Thinking about, wow, my stepfather was right. I mean, there's nothing worse than that, right? To have that over your head for the rest of your life while you're sitting in jail, the place that your stepfather said that's exactly where you're going to be at. So that would have been an even worse
And he's
life.
laughing, beating up your mom and said, "See, I told you so."
Yeah, it's yeah. So I, I just I mean, yeah, it it could have. I mean, if you think about it, it could have went another way. Like, I think everything happens for a reason in the way that it happens. Because suppose he swung at me, that would have been might have been a different situation, right? He'd have probably got shot. Not probably 100%, because but so situations, the way things happen, I think that they were meant to happen like that. Because like I said, he could have tried to grab me, right? And I would have shot him. And then this would have
Mhm.
been a totally different situation. But he didn't. And I was able to figure out what I was gonna do, and made the right decision.
You did, and I need to know, where are mom and stepdad right now?
My stepdad died a while ago, and the only reason I found out was because, so I don't talk to any of my family at all. I cut everybody completely off, everyone, because
Mhm.
so so my dad, like my real dad, was a person I was close to. My mom, so my stepfather and my mom used to throw me away a lot, right? So whenever I wasn't behaving, they would just throw me to my dad, right? And my dad had another wife, but I think, so it's a crazy. I think my dad was married to this lady before he married my mom.
Oh my god.
Seriously, because I have siblings, step siblings that are older than me. That's impossible.
Yeah.
And with the same lady that he's with, well, that he was with, right? So they would throw me away, and my dad was always take me. My dad was super strict, but he would always take me, always, always. It didn't matter. They would just throw me away, and then he would take me, and then they would steal me. So I'd be in school, my mom would come and just pick me up. And so yeah, yeah, it was like that. It was crazy. So I was getting thrown always back and forth. And my so anyway, so I was getting thrown back and forth. My dad passed away a while ago, and when my dad passed away, I cut myself off from that family because his wife hated me, right? Because
Wow.
I was the kid that he had while he
Oh.
was with her, right? So she didn't like me at all. Like, she didn't like me at literally. at all. And so, I felt that when I was there, but my dad always loved me. My dad always took care of me. And they would get angry. And so anyway, my dad passed, so I just cut off everyone from that family. Then um after the situation with my mom and my stepfather, I just stopped talking to everyone. And then I a year later I started the ping pong thing, so I traveled the world, and I just
Wait.
cut.
Okay. How old were you when you started ping pong? Because this is
So I
fascinating.
was 17.
And I want to ask you really quickly before we start going into the ping pong empire that is Wally Green. How are you redirecting this generational trauma? Because you hold it within yourself, you've been a part of it. We saw your child. Like, how are you doing things differently? You must have bubblings or stuff that comes up once in a while where you're like, or no,
um
you're
by
just cool. You're just done with
no,
it.
no, by doing stuff like this,
Hmm.
talking about it, it for me now, I'm at the point where, telling my story can help someone else, and they can be inspired by it, and motivated, and maybe not do what I was gonna do. And I think it's just, for me, it's the most important thing. And so I by telling my story a lot and over, it's like sort of kind of healing. And I like to, like, you see, if every time I tell my story, I'm very passionate about it, right? I'm not like, yeah, no, because it's like healing. It's like almost being in a session. And
Did you get therapy?
they tried the therapy, but I scared the therapist, actually. Yeah, no, seriously, I did. They tried to send me to a psycho psychotherapist, and the first day I got there, and this one I think I was like 14, and the first day I got there, I asked him, I says, listen, I says, have you ever had a gun put to your head? He said, no. I said, have you ever been shot at before? He said, no. I said, then why the fuck am I here? And I left. I never went back. I left. I was like, I'm not gonna do this. This is a waste of my time. And I talk about that a lot. I mentioned, like just Saturday, I did a international I gave international talk, around the world, about, children advocacy, about the same kids like me growing up. How do we fix this and stuff like that? And I said, more importantly, we need the people who's been through it to actually get out there and help these kids. A lot of times, these therapists, okay, the therapists, like, they went to school, and they learned about the brain, they learned about the mind. That's all fine and that's all cool. But, like, I have a friend who's a therapist. That's what he does. He works with kids. And I argue with this dude all the time. I'm like, bro, first of all, you have no kids. Second of all, you never been through this stuff. Like, you grew up with a nice home. So I don't understand how you can give your opinion on something that you never experienced. So, like, for me, like I said, like, the schooling is good, everything is good, but if you haven't really been through it, then it's very difficult to understand. I don't care how much school you have. So we need people that's been through it to go back and help these kids. A lot of times, people, they go through this crazy trauma, then they get past it, they become successful, and that's it. It's done. They forget about it. And what happens? The kids are still messed up. No one helps them. These are the people that need to go back and help these kids, because these are the people that the kids will listen to. These are people like me. There was no way I was listening to this psychotherapist
They wouldn't
to
listen to me.
huh?
They wouldn't listen to me. And I
Yeah.
have four, especially my children, my four kids. No, but yeah, because you've been through it and you
Yeah.
feel the pain. There is something so powerful about having making that connection with troubled youth. If you've been
Yes.
through it, if they can feel that pain and palpable, and you can share their story. You went through the same thing, but there's one difference. You made a positive choice instead of, you know, the the inevitable negative choice, which a lot of kids do because they feel
Yes.
there's no one there to advocate for them.
Yep. It's, I mean, I don't know. I every time I think about that day and how wrong it could have went, I say to myself, bro, what the hell were you doing, man? You'd have ended your life right there. But yeah, I was able to come to my senses and understand that if I did what I was gonna do, it would have been it'd have been 100 million times worse.
Yeah, we wouldn't be talking. And you're a testament to making your pain your purpose, which is incredible. So, 17 years old, you decided to cut ties with your mom and your stepdad. And then you took to the paddle. You took to the table. Tell us.
Yeah. So actually it was 16 years old. I left home.
Holy
I lived
cow.
I lived in the street for a year, just kind of like
What do you mean the street? Like, are you
like borderline homeless, like just hanging
like,
out.
where do you sleep at night?
Sometimes friend's house, sometimes break night till the next day.
Hmm.
A lot of hanging out and just trying to hang out wherever you can. If you got some friend's house, you can sleep on the couch or something, but just almost homeless, like pretty much homeless. I didn't have a place to live, but I was always crafty, so I found places. But
Crafty. I love that.
yeah, but 17 is when I started to find ping pong. And actually I hated ping pong. They had ping pong in my high school, and I kind of bullied
Like,
the
who
kids.
does ping pong? Like, the nerds do ping pong in high school.
Exactly. And I bullied kids who played it.
I'm teasing. Ping pong is amazing, by the way. Not
I
nerds.
Yeah, but I didn't think that. I used to come from the lunchroom from football practice, and I would see these kids play, and I would make fun of them. And I'd be like, "Look at these kids with short shorts and a stick." Like it was just such a funny thing to watch.
God,
Yeah,
I wish you were here. Like, I wish we could play a game, or that would be a
yeah,
joke,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, we gotta
But I
play.
love ping pong.
Then we gotta play one time. We definitely gotta play.
No, because you know you're gonna win.
No, no, don't worry about it. I'll take it easy.
You
Take it easy. Don't worry. But yeah, so then
so you go from football to ping pong. That's incredible, right
yeah.
there.
So the way I found ping pong, well, I played every sport in school. So remember, sports was something that kind of dulled the pain. So I played
Mhm.
every sport. I played basketball, football, volleyball. I was on a wrestling team.
You were good at those sports too?
Every sport. I was
Varsity?
MVP on every single sport I've played.
Wow.
MVP, like right up here. I still have my trophies, man. I got tons of trophies. I keep them for my kid. Like going all like from here all the way down to all my trophies. But MVP every sport because that was a lot of my anger went into sports.
And you
And like
probably
I said,
received those accolades that you so needed and that reassurance
yes,
that you're doing things
exactly.
right. When people said you're doing amazing, you're like, yeah, but my stepdad's telling me I'm a piece of
Yes,
shit.
exactly. And so yeah, and so I was taking a break from sports, and I was shooting pool. I started to get into shooting pool. I thought I was really good at shooting pool because I had this. I sort of like switched a pool stick. I bought a cheaper one, and I took it back. And the guy said, "Well, you can exchange it for something over there." And I kind of did a swipe and took an expensive one, and now I had this expensive pool stick. And I thought I was good. I wasn't that good. Got hustled for some money. Got a little bit upset and just hit the pool stick on the table, and the pool stick shattered. And I was really pissed off then because now my expensive pool stick was broken, and I was just angry. And right across from me was some kids playing ping pong. They had like two ping pong tables, and I looked over there, and it was just like the perfect storm. I went over there and I was like, "Hey, I want to get a hit." And I really didn't want to get a hit. It was just me being a bully. It's like I want to get a hit, and it was like, "Oh, do you play?" I was like, "I don't play this. Just give me the racket." So I took the racket from the kid, and the kid hit the ball to me, and I was trying to hit him with the ball.
Oh
That
my God,
yeah,
Wally.
yeah. I was trying to hit him, so I swung at the ball. I just swung at it, and the ball went on the table. Of all things, it went on the table. He was like, "Oh my God, that's a great shot." Do you play it? I was like, "No, I tell you, don't play it." He's like, "There's a ping pong club that you have to go check out. All the great players play there." And I was like, "What do you mean? There's a club where people actually play this?" I said, "There's no way that people get together in a club and play." He's like, "No, I'm telling you." He said, "It's another pool hall, but half the pool hall is ping pong." And I was like, "What?
Wow.
Really?" I said, "No way." So the athlete in me wanted to see if this was true. And I wind up going down there and I saw people playing. They were standing far from the table and making noise. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And the thing that got me interested in was that every single person who was playing was black. And that's what got me interested, because I was like, what, Black people play this? There's no way. So I was shocked. For me, I thought only Asians play ping pong. So I was super shocked. And everyone, there was not one Asian there. It was all Black people. Okay, they weren't Americans. They're from Africa, or from the islands, but they're Black nonetheless. And I was like, whoa, man, it's crazy. So I'm watching these guys play. I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. All of a sudden, it
Do you
became
like break a sweat in ping pong? Like, do you break a
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's extreme. It's put it like this. Put it like this. During US Open, we get pro tennis players that come to my club, and
What
I
club
make
is that?
it's
Wally
called
Green.
Spin. Spin. It's a ping pong bar, nightclub, restaurant, and
Sweet.
and
Where is
I
that, by the way? Because I'm gonna have to
so we have a bunch. So we have two in New York City. One's on 23rd and Park. The other one is on 54 Madison, and then we have one in Toronto. Then we have another 6 across the country.
anyone in Chicago?
Yep, one in Chicago.
You do?
Yeah, downtown. Spin.
Where?
Just
Wait,
spin.
wait,
Just
wait.
Google Spin Chicago,
Are you
and you'll
kidding
find
me?
it. Yeah. Spin Chicago.
Do you ever go there?
Yeah, I go sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to let me know. Anyway, I digress. But that's cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. And
Oh my God. Boom.
isn't
I'm
that
gonna
crazy?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So
I'm just thinking of someone I have to introduce you to. She's my girlfriend. She's a doctor and she like is a ping pong craze, like crazy. And she wears these really
wow.
cute, like high, like what are they called? High socks. And I mean, like
Yeah.
it's, but she goes nuts over ping pong. But it's so
Yeah,
fun. So spin. Okay, that's amazing. We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to play.
yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
So,
And
I
it's
mean,
very
like, this is like mind-boggling to think about you just sitting there, about ready to kill your stepdad, and now you have all these like spins everywhere, and US Open, and you're like over in Pyongyang, and you're speaking TEDx. Like, this does not normally happen.
uh,
The secret sauce. And if you're a parent out there listening to Wally, you need to play this for your kids because there are no excuses. Your son Aiden is going to have no excuses when he's like, "Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I'm tired." You're going to be like, "Do you know what dad did?
yeah,
Do you
exactly.
know, like, do you have any idea? Now give me a hug and go get your butt out there and do it."
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But I just love that. Uh I guess as I wrap this up, what is your biggest life lesson that keeps you going through the days? And what is that you want to teach troubled youth and, just the average youth, the, like my kids? What is that message that you are imparting?
So I actually have two messages.
Okay, two.
One for the kids and one for the parents.
Okay.
The first one for the kids, it's really simple. Um, if you need help, because only you know you need help, do not be afraid to ask for it. And more importantly, if someone is offering help, do not be afraid to take it, because that's how I got out. Someone paid for me to go to Germany to learn. I could have easily said, no, I'm not doing that. You're crazy. Right. So if someone offers you help, you know you need it, accept it, because that help can change your life. Right.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of time, kids are like, I don't need the help. I don't need anybody. I can do everything myself. I don't need any. No, you do. Nobody does anything by themselves. Right. So those are the two things for the kids. For the parents,
I'm
and
listening. I'm listening.
and I think this is so important. Like I said, Saturday I did this huge talk, and it was so deep. For parents, we need to truly and deeply listen to our children, not hear them, but listen to them. And I think it's so important. And it starts, and it doesn't start from when you're like 16, 17 years old. It starts from the youngest age, when they can already figure things out. Like my son is 3, right? So he's already figured out things that he likes, things that he doesn't like, things that he want to do, things even, and it starts from there. I think a lot of times what happens is, like, let's say, for example, your kid says, "Oh, I don't like that," right? And then somebody say, "Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to eat it anyway." No, Find out why your kid doesn't like it. Don't just say, no, you're gonna eat it anyway, right? You're hearing, but you're not listening. And so that's just like a basic idea. So a lot of, we had this, they had a 15-year-old kid on the speaker panel, and the guy who runs this organization never ever put kids on speaker panels for these big events. But this time he did. And this is and the girl, 15 years old, who's going through some serious stuff, she also said that she said that the parents are not listening to us, that we're hurting inside, and that's why we lash out. And instead of pushing us away and assuming whatever they want to assume, that they just need to listen to us deeply and hear why we're hurting. And I think that's so important, because even me as a kid, no one listened to me. Like my mom didn't listen to me at all, right? Of course, my stepfather was gonna listen to me, but even the other adults around didn't really listen. They heard what I was saying, but they weren't really deeply listening. So I think that's so important, especially for the parents, that we need to listen to our kids, and we need to do it early. When your kid says something or acts something or says, I don't like something, or I don't want to do something, just
It's
ask
every
why.
day of my life.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the two messages I think are very important.
I love that. And people get caught up at different levels, especially as parents in their own lives, and
Right,
the children just become a nuisance or a, an accessory to their life. But
right,
it's
exactly.
important. These are humans that are forming their opinions about themselves and the world, and we are their guides for 18 years.
Yes.
You're amazing. I need to have you on again because, by
Oh,
the
for
way,
sure.
Wally Green is like a TikTok champion as well. Like whatever he does, he succeeds on. I want you to find out all about Wally Green. I'm going to put all the links in the show notes. I want you to get obsessed with Wally Green and listen to this episode over and over. Play it for your kids, play it for parents, friends that you love, because he's amazing and inspiring. So thank you, Wally, and get obsessed with your life.